T217, Master Rico and Ninja. I thought about it before the stream today, and I was considering doing the... Yeah, we killed Golem last time. I was considering doing the Empress of Light, but decided that if I'm going to do that, I would probably do it post Moonlord, because I don't know. I really don't want to do any things that are going to be very time consuming before seeing how bad the Moonlord is going to be, because it could take a very, very long time to kill the Moonlord. I don't think I'll be able to read this time. I don't really have much planned for what to do today, but the mechanics of the cultist fight, I can't look away for more than a couple seconds at a time. Because I have to position myself to make sure I attack the right one during the clone phase. Oh, listening to music again? I mean, there's not that much to listen to, and the problem is if it's random music. I don't know, Toastmaster. You're welcome. Like, there's, like, potential copyright issues and things. Okay. So the last thing we did was... Where's this character? Where is this character? There it is. Hey, Chameleon. The last thing we did was kill Golem. I don't know, Master Rico. Do you expect me to give you an actual answer there? I don't know. I felt like naming a character that. Lawnmower outside your house? It's me. I'm outside your house. I'm gonna pick up my stuff from here. These. That statue. Timer? The timer. Anything else I want? Stream the reason for it like a challenge? I mean, there probably is, but I don't remember it. The character is not recent. It's from a long time ago. I don't remember why I named that character that thing. Okay. Our defense is pretty optimized right now. 117 regen potions. That's 800 minutes, which is like 12 hours. I can't imagine the cultist is going to take longer than that. However, it's going to take a little while to set up things for the cultist, I think. Let's see. Potion ingredients. I mean, 117 should be plenty. It's going to take a while to set things up for the cultist, because we'll need to look at the exact positioning of everything. So let's get started with that. Anything else I want to bring? Sharptooth necklace isn't going to do anything. Potions are fine. Maybe I'll get some more iron skins. Maybe I'll get some extra potions just in case, because can't have too many. I'll work with that for now. We have the greater healing potions. All these are reforged correctly. I should pick up teleporters from the steampunker, because I may need those. Where is she? There she is. Get steampunk wings too, but I don't really need wings. That won't do very much. Oh wait, no, mechanic sells teleporters, that's right. Okay, we get some switches. Just in case. We have plenty of wire. Let's go see how this is gonna play out. Pillar's gonna be so fun. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the pillars. Now, this is probably... We're going to die to the cultist several times. Or not... We'll probably have to reset the cultist fight a couple times, as I'm getting the exact positioning for everything down. This whole place is covered in background walls. Oh, but wraiths are a thing now. Shit. That's a problem. I hadn't considered that. Huh. Wraiths are a problem. How can I deal with that? I could... I know what I can do. I know what I could do. The fucking rune wizard's on the surface? Or is that because I went slightly underground? Okay. We're gonna... We're gonna make a little arena up here. And we'll fight the cultist here. The Skeletron one's not gonna work out. But if we're up here, wraiths shouldn't be able to get us. And I think the rune wizard spawned because I was, like, slightly below the surface or something. Would appreciate it if you fucked off, rune wizard. Let's... Do I have the cyborg yet? I do. Let's go pay the cyborg a visit. Cyborg's gonna help us out. He's over here. We're gonna use the cyborg to, get, honey rockets so we don't have to dupe things for a long time, to shut off spawns. Proximity mine launcher and some dry rockets. Hey, Igor. Get HUD when you master world and it's also your first Crimson HUD world. This way harder than corruption, especially when your entire elevator is underground Crimson. What's giving you trouble? The floaty gross Ichor stickers? It must be because that right there is technically underground, and a rune wizard spawned at like the bottom of my arena over there. This isn't deep enough, really? Where's that not deep enough? Hold on, I could just, Defense is better now than damage reduction? Defense has always been better than damage reduction. What? Never been a time when damage reduction was better than both of them. No, I don't have any damage reduction. Defense is better than damage reduction. Pretty unequivocally. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, no. No. I lack Beetle Helm. Beetle Helm would be worse. I'm going to be taking damage pretty much constantly, so there's not really any reason to be wearing Beetle Helm over Hollowed, because I'm not going to have the Beetle damage reduction buff anyway. Because I'm face tanking hits, I'm not getting hit every couple of seconds. Am I playing normal mode? No, this is expert. I'm gonna need to, do I have any other blocks? Ashwood. It's fine, I just have to close off the thing over there. Surface spawn rates. We don't need a very big arena, because the cultist really does not require much space. Okay, that's pretty sufficient. Okay, now I need you guys to... out of here. It's gonna take a sec. I have time to tell another story. I don't think I'll be able to look away during the cultist fight. I don't see that happening. You're not supposed to. Now that it's done a little bit, we can shoot more easily. The reason we're doing this is because honey disables enemies from spawning. Much like lava. Which, if we're fighting, is something we want. Because we don't really have a way to deal with additional enemies. Okay, should be enough. Let me do this so we don't get this whole place crimson. Can I imagine this without the liquid rockets bombs? Oh, I mean, we did do that for Golem. That's how we got our Golem arena to be spawn-proofed. And, like, realistically, this isn't actually going to do very much. Because we're gonna probably have to put down platforms and things. But this is mostly just going to make it so that, we don't really have to worry about it, when getting here. Okay. I'm also going to go ahead and get out of here. Destroy these over here. I have my extendo grip. This should prevent floaty ghosts and wraiths from being able to get in here. Let's check. Make sure they can't get over here. Yeah, okay. Let's put down the bass statue. And now let's think about this. In order to deal damage to the cultist, I'm most likely going to have to utilize teleporters. I don't see a way for this to work out without teleporters. So, if I put some planter boxes here, I can establish a location as, okay, I go here to, prepare to teleport into the cultist. He stay. Oh, god damn, I forgot those fuckers exist. Okay. Back. Actually, you know what? No. I'm not taking any chances here. We'll just mine out, like, every single block they could be in, to prevent them from showing up. Where are my mining potions? There. This light, it's keen. It's the goblin. I don't think it would actually be too difficult to mine out all these blocks, so we're just gonna do that. You notice falling on liquids with water walking deals fall damage? That's not a thing. If I had background walls, it would prevent Crimson Axis from spawning. I'm not sure, Team and WG, but it's easier for me to just destroy every block in the area that things can spawn on than it would be to cover the area with background walls. This isn't even that fast of a mining speed. We only have a couple bucks, we don't have that much. Yeah, we just get rid of all this, and then we don't have to worry about anything showing up, because it's fun. Mining's gonna be faster than exploding it. Well, I don't have a means to summon a blood moon or solar eclipse to get rockets that would blow it up. And dynamite is not faster than this. If I had a good explosive rocket launcher with exploding rockets, that could potentially be faster. But I don't know if any of those really exist at this stage. Celebration's the only one I can think of that really blows two things. Dynamite's just awkward to use. I cannot be bothered to care about these things getting in my way while I'm mining. Like, I'm not trying to kill them, but I'm not going to sit here dancing around for like an hour just to avoid hitting anything with my axe. Yeah, he only sells red blood. Although I might... Actually, I guess I do have solo chaplains, but... the other issue is that I only have a proximity mine launcher, and the proximity mine launcher is not good at blowing up blocks. It's not very fast. Hop back for a sec. Oh god, 22 gold? I guess we are post-gold now. We've already killed several skeleton commandos, I'm pretty sure. When we were farming paladin shields. I've just been really tired. The game knew, so it had to be a legit dungeon. That would imply consciousness on the part of the game. Take issue with that. So maybe you spent ages farming for scopes. I never really found for scopes just because I feel like they're not worth it. Like, it's a lot of effort and it's less time just to beat the game than it is to farm for scopes. These blocks. Spawning bosses with back to the food. farming for the best gear at every stage of the game. The scope's pretty fun, both to farm and to use. Fun to farm? Who hurt you? Yeah. Chill in here for a sec. I don't think we're quite at the point of, things down there can jump and hit me. Good to know. We haven't quite destroyed enough of that down there, but we're getting there. Farming is fun? No. 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 Farming is fun in the same way that, like, ripping your teeth out with your bare hands is fun. I spent 35 hours killing Moonlord. I'd rather do that than spend 35 hours farming for like a lot of Discord or something. I pretty much never do anything in any of the, or in the hard mode dungeon unless, like, I'm forced to. Deep enough? Oh, we gotta go deeper. You always get a lot of Discord? I have never willingly gotten a lot of Discord, and anytime I've gotten a lot of Discord, I've immediately gone to trash. A lot of Discord sucks. Getting you, like, it's a clutch item in TMNWG. Not getting used to using it is a good thing, because it makes you worse at the game using it. Like, using it just teaches you bad habits and or strategies for playing the game. What am I planning to build? This. I think that was sufficient space. Let me check if any demon eyes spawn down there. Okay, I think we've spaced out enough that things can no longer spawn. If anything can spawn, it should be pretty obvious because demon eyes will fly towards us. Let's up the spawn rates for checking. There's gonna be things on the right, but on the left, things up top. We can deal with that though. And then down here. Okay, looks solid. Looks solid. You like using it to get around with the shrimpy truffle? I'm not sure I follow how those two things are. Like, intentionally lowering your HP? Is that? Okay, I'm gonna put bubble blocks over here and put honey on top to stop things from spawning up here. Forget how many mines you can have at once before they start exploding. Like 15 or something, I think. There we go. You can outrun Emphasis with cute fish run and self-harm with a rod. Yeah, you could also just, like, have it rain or build an arena that puts down water. Okay. This is going to be our central area for fighting the cultist. Let me get this demon eye out of here. Any reliable way to self-harm mid-air? There are reliable ways to just have water in midair. You don't need to be damaged to use the cute fish run. Like, it being wet works fine. You can just use bubble blocks, which takes drastically less time than getting a rod of discord. Or you can just wait for it to rain, which also takes drastically less time than getting a rod of discord. Okay. Cultist. Hang on. Let me. Being wet is just 6 seconds. You can have multiple things. I'm gonna rewatch the Cheese All Bosses video and watch the lunatic cultist part. So I can figure out the exact spacing of where he is. Where is that video? There it is. Because I think I have the dimensions of things here.
The lunatic cultist could be cheesed with a similar strategy, but I wanted to come up with something else for him.
Say it about right there. How many blocks is that?
So I put 2 teleporters spaced 86 blocks apart with walls on the side to block his phase 2 purple ball attack and a barrier 10 blocks up to block.
Okay, 10 blocks up.
Most of his other attacks.
Looks like he stays about 13 blocks above you. Okay. 12, 13 blocks looks like a reasonable amount. Let's get a ruler out. We'll do 13 blocks. Okay. I am going to put a teleporter here, slightly off to the side. A block here to prevent me from walking forward. I think the cultist is going to be right here. Actually, maybe I go 1 block further to the side. Cultist should be directly above me, about here. So if I lawnmower here, I think that'll hit him. Let's destroy all this. Let me close this stuff off. This should prevent most of his attacks from hitting me. Hey, Foxy. I'll do something like this. Okay. Good luck getting the rain before EOL just bolts out of existence because of PC error, or you just beat Moonlord Sanguine. What? I don't understand what you're saying. Why would you ever fight Moonlord with the Sanguine Staff? The Sanguine Staff isn't very good. at the very least, you'd do Stardust. And I mean, Deadly Sphere, UFO, like, there's plenty of other alternatives. I'm not sure what. But there are plenty of non-Terra Prisma alternatives that are really good. Like, you don't have to... I will put that there. Put these here. Is Dragon better than Prisma? Yes. For the Moonlord. This bubble block here. The dragon deals better DPS at slow-moving targets that it can hit consistently, like the Moonlord. Okay. Yeah, the only thing that's bad about the dragon is its AI. But in terms of actual damage, you don't really get better than it with any other minion. My switches are in my piggy bank. Use Terra Prisma to beat Calamity up to Poltergeist and Envoys. Does Calamity rebalance the Terra Prisma? Also, I'm not sure that using Calamity as the basis for a weapon being good is... It doesn't? Okay. Okay. Now the next tricky poke. It makes Terra Prisma drop no matter when you kill her, and daytime is no longer a one-shot. Oh yeah, Calamity is dumb. That's right. Okay. I don't know how this is gonna go. So, we're gonna make preparations. To do whatever we need. I don't know where exactly the cultist is going to show up during the clone phase. So we're going to just cover this whole area, and then we'll work with it as it happens. You know, a good person that hates Calamity and you agree with them? I wouldn't say that I hate Calamity. I just have issues with it. Hate's a very strong word. I don't know if there's any mod I could hate. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Let me put away. Where's my, there it is. What do I you? All these. Get a hot lantern up. I think I need a campfire too. Campfire, hot lantern. Is this active? There we go. Also gonna go ahead and seal this up. So I can keep these easily. Okay. I'm gonna put a teleporter over here. Not on the side. Those things can spawn. Right here. This should be good. With a switch. Green wire. Okay, I have to actually kill them is the tricky part. How can I do that? If I could force them all... I have an idea. These wraiths are the main thing that's giving me pause. Shiny stone. Is this trap for cultist? This. Okay. If I tunnel out this area here, this should be able to prevent these wraiths from hitting me when doing this. I'm not trying to kill these wraiths because it's fucking impossible to mine this without hitting them. I'm not trying to hit you. Get out of here. That should be good. Close this area off. Okay. We still have a few minutes before we're gonna actually get to the cultist. God damn it. Oh, these guys don't have any defense. I never knew that. Paladin shield back on. Cross necklace. Make sure this... I hope this is all measured out correctly. Let's see. I can't think of any unimplemented enemies. The other snowman? What, Frost Legion? Okay. See how this goes. I hope the cultist makes it to me. I teleport up there. I mean, Frost Legion reworked would be so out there. Frost Legion is just... They would have to, like, completely rework the entire thing. Because as is, it's just so shitty. Like, you'd basically be making a new event from scratch. Yes, you have to. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Mostly it's a post-golem event? What do you mean? Oh yeah, because Frostmoon. Right. Okay. Come on, get up here. Okay. Our positioning is correct. Fuck. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Let's reset. I see what I need to do there. My prediction location-wise was wrong. Are we resetting cultists with journey mode powers? I haven't thought about it, but potentially, just to save time. Okay, let me look at exactly where the cultist showed up here on stream. Let's see. Goes back here. Okay, that is directly above the switch right there. Okay, that's easy enough. And this one is the third one down, directly above me. Okay. It's easy enough. Could you Okay, so we can get rid of these top two. We don't need these. In fact, we can also get rid of basically everything else. None of these matter. They just stand to get in the way. If we stand right there... One more to the side. Right here. This should do it. That should hit the cultist. And so when the time comes, we jump up here, do this. Let me put a roof here so we hit our head. Yeah. And then for this one, like about this height. Go one higher just in case. I put that there. Do this. Should hit him if he's in that spot. I don't think he'll go there anyway. So basically, come up here. Okay. Let's hurry up the cultist respawning. Oh, I need to move this. Wait, no I don't. The hot lantern it's just visually annoying, I guess. Okay. We have to re-kill them. That's easy enough. Aesthetics? Oh yeah, this is a beautiful arena. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh wait, I might need to clear out those blocks down there. To have them respawn properly. Oh no, they respawned. Okay. I just chose new positions. Probably speed this up. Because cultists actually fought back a bit. I mean, the outros do. I mean, the devotees. Barely. They do a lot of damage. I mean... They do have really high damage for... Yeah, the music is tied to the devotees. I mean, like, I don't think having the cultists fight back would make the game... I think it would just make things more annoying, if anything. Like, you're already fighting the cultist basically as a way to just summon the pillars, and then if you add another semi-difficult fight on top of that just to summon the cultist, it would just be annoying. It would be putting a fight to gate the fight that gates the event that gates the fight. What's the strat to not take damage? Have a bunch of defense. Well, that's me what I'm doing now, which is that the ouchers and most enemies only attack you if they're not being hit. So if you hit them, damage to you. Although that game is pretty awfully paced, Yeah, it's a result of the game being developed over like a decade and just kind of being tacked on at the end. Fire, ice, lightning. Fire. Ice. Summon. Okay. Fire. Ice. Lightning. Fire. Ice. Summon. Fire. Ice. Lightning. Fire. Ice. Summon. Is the cultist actually this predictable? Yeah. Fire. Ice. Lightning. Fire. Ice. Summon. Unfortunately, unlike the other bosses, I do have to actually pay attention. Like, I can't AFK this. Well, I mean, I probably could find a way to AFK it. There'd be a lot of broken setup. That honey doesn't even work. I realize now. It's not deep enough. Oh, wrong one. I did it too quickly. He just got hit by a falling star. How did you even... I build this whole arena to prevent things from being hit with falling stars. I mean, chunking out 1,000 of his HP is... I mean, it's nice. I'm not complaining about it. What if I just... I wonder if the Retinator strat will work for the cultist. Let's see. Now. It's too reactive. Do I lose if he summons the dragon? It would be very inconvenient. Oh no, what do you... No, the dragon deals an assload of damage. I don't know what you're talking about. No, the dragon deals an assload of damage. Saw 10 damage. On expert mode, the Phantasmal Dragon deals 150 damage with its head. It would be dealing 30, 40 damage a hit to me, which I cannot sustain. Now the cultist's second phase may shake things up a bit. We'll have to see how that plays out. So at this point, since starting the fight, we've done about 500 damage, roundabout. The estimated time of completion, that's what we're trying to figure out. It's been about 5 minutes, I think. So if we're doing about 100 damage a minute, it seems. At the pace of 100 damage a minute, it would take 470 minutes, essentially. Which is like 8 hours. Probably a 2-day affair. The cultist doesn't say anything. It's just unintelligible gibberish. But yeah, the cultist never uses the bottom left section for teleporting. Which is why we're not caring about down there. He never goes there. Mostly just gibberish, but that line is not. No, it's all gibberish. You're hearing things where there isn't anything. You're making a connection when it's just nothing. It's like recognizing faces and things, except for speech. I forget the term for it. Oh, dear. Ah, I see. Yeah, this fight requires considerably more mobility than the previous fights because we do have to actually hit the levels. We're fucked. Okay. That was my bad. Inconvenient. Very inconvenient. We'll see how this plays out. The best case scenario would be if the physicians... Nah, we're fucked. Okay, we have to reset. Am I gonna continue? Why would I continue? What kind of question is that? Okay. The issue there was I delayed slightly too long. When I was going to do that, and it caused him to teleport up there. Mildly inconvenient. That is absurd, enamored. That's a stretch and is applying lore implications to... But it's a good idea. It's literally just somebody's fan fiction that they're writing. Could I streamline the path upward? It wouldn't really do that much. I mean, I could use a teleporter for it, but then the teleporter would also potentially interrupt other things. The way it is now is fine. Such because he doesn't always hit that spot, although I guess if I wasn't moving around as much, it'd be less of an issue, but... Maybe we could use a different weapon? Good idea, yeah. How does Iquorca spawn it up? Oh, this is the don't dig up seed, yeah. It's still fanfiction if it's the original author. What? Okay. I don't think it's worth making a contingency plan up there. Which one if it happened? It's easy enough to avoid. I just have to get a slightly better feel for the timing of things. Okay. I mean, emergency hatch in case you really need to get to the ceiling. No, it wouldn't do anything. It would be useless. Like 4.4 thousand. Actually, I have a arm shell. I can just use this thing. And yeah, I'm gonna get burnt out sometimes. I mean, I'm not always in the mood to play it. Problem is, I can't go to summon the cultist when the axe is there. Because if I, I don't even know if they're going to properly do what I want them to do, but I have to try to get rid of that axe. Hey, I don't know how to pronounce that. I assume it's like Polish or something, no? Man, fuck this axe. Okay, they are properly sticking around. Axe gone yet? Okay, we just gotta, like, leave, I guess. Hope we don't have to save it quick. Yes, the axe picked up coins, but I don't know if the axe is an enemy that despawns when it picks up coins. I'm aware that it picked up a coin. However, enemies behave differently when they pick up coins, and rarer enemies don't always stay spawned in when they pick up coins. I don't know if the axe does. That's why we're checking. Yeah, see? Axe is gone. Is legendary mode? No, this is don't dig up. And stop respawning after some amount of times. Crimson axes and enchanted swords just don't respawn if they pick up points. Only certain enemies stick around. Is it late for you? You want to sleep around 5:30? Who are you gonna hit clones if you can't use Lawnmower in air? I mean, we've been doing it. You can wait and see. Yeah, I'm sure I can, but... Yeah. Falling stones being able to hit the cultist is not good. Because during long cultist fights, it is possible for a falling stone to hit the long cultist during the clone attack. Yeah, I mean, I do know how this fight works. It's not like... I think it's kind of silly to assume I wouldn't have a plan to hit the cultists. I just have to make sure not to linger too long. I can't really do anything that requires me to look away from the screen during this. At least not for long periods. Why don't I hit the spawn cap to prevent it from firing? Why would I do that? That would just make it more difficult. That would make it more difficult to keep track of what he's doing at any point in time. It's not like his projectiles are dangerous. That would just make it so I couldn't go Fire Ice, Lightning, Fire Ice, Summon and know when he's about to do his clone attack. I'm using Fin Wings, yeah. Why Fin? It doesn't matter. I'm not even using them. They're not equipped. I'm using Fin because I didn't want to kill wyverns, and there's no reason to upgrade them because I don't need ones. Like, sure, I could go spend 3 gold on steampunk things, but they're useless, so... Why would I? This is definitely going to be a multi-day affair. I'm not doing the one stream. Yeah, it looks like about 100 damage a minute is about what we're looking with. Actually, probably a little more than 100 damage a minute, I think. Chance of a dragon spawning? There is no chance of a dragon spawning. The only situation where the dragon would spawn is if I make a mistake, which I'm not prone to doing. It's gonna take years? No, it'll probably take around like 8 hours, I think. Time I calculated. clones will only full white ghosts in classic mode. What do you mean? You think the mode will take? I have no idea. That's not something I can predict. Probably. Fuck. It's like not even close. It makes raw defense better than the beetle damage reduction bonus. The fact that we're typically getting hit multiple times in rapid succession makes the beetle damage reduction bonus useless. Because of how frequently we're getting hit. I guess it's not as evident here right now, but particularly against pretty much every other boss we fought, and I think it'll be more evident. Like those rapid hits right there. I guess against the cultist in particular, we're not getting hit constantly, but for pretty much every other boss we've fought, we've been getting hit pretty much constantly. And we still are getting hit frequently enough that the beetle set bonus would not be getting up to 45%. Remember, beetle set bonus only applies if you don't get hit. I mean, we found a way to hit the moon load with bouncy dynamite. We'll just find a way to hit him with a lawnmower. He keeps going here for some reason. I don't know what's changed. Why he's different. Dynamite is spike damage though. If you can predict his position, you can hit him. Okay, we're almost at 1,000 damage. I have an idea. Go here. If I can manipulate how many his position's gonna be. He could manipulate. I shouldn't do that. I don't want him to be moving to a spot I'm not ready for him. Okay. That's 1,000. Which is about 2% of the fight. Yeah, the cultist is one of the few bosses that's completely predictable. Guys, I don't really know what to tell you because you're asking questions seemingly under the assumption that I actually think about things ahead of time. Game audio slightly drowning me out. Okay, turn it down a bit. Like, I don't care about the Moonlord because we're not on the Moonlord. I'm not going to think about the Moonlord. The Moonlord's not a problem because we're not at the Moonlord. When we get to the Moonlord, I'll figure out a way to do it. But, like, I'm not going to stress over it now or think about it now because we're not there. All it would be is just random conjecture about what I might possibly be able to do with no way to test it. So there's no reason to speculate much over it. Yeah, there's still all the pillars, which will probably take, like, longer than the Moonlord, in all honesty. Boss was the hardest to kill so far. Good question. I mean, the thing is, none of the bosses were really difficult. I guess Plane of Cthulhu probably was the hardest, but, like, because the Lawnmower is so bad, the entire game is very easy with it. Which might seem counterintuitive, but because the Lawnmower is so awful, I pretty much have no choice but to use just really broken face-tanking strategies, which makes the entire game very easy. So, like, there's not really very much intrinsic difficulty. I mean, this is difficult. This is probably the most thought we've had to put into a boss fight so far. I guess the Wall of Flesh was a lot of setup. It was difficult to do, but it was also, like, a classic. Lava still inflicts on fire for enemies? Yes, it does. We did have to lower difficulty for the Wall of Flesh because it's just not possible to deal enough damage to him otherwise. And it's just time consuming. I mean, it depends on the boss. Like, the Brain of Cthulhu was not just time consuming. The Brain of Cthulhu was difficult. Like, broken armor and cursed and confusion made the fight pretty tough. Like, we couldn't just sit there and eat hits. We had to put a lot of thought into things, and especially dodging the phase 2 follow passivity clones when you can't tell which one is which. That's not easy. The cultist here, this is not just time consuming. This does require a decent amount of focus. The Wall of Flesh also, like, it was a pretty close fight to kill him. We used like 80-90% of the world. We almost ran out of space. Whereas things like the Destroyer, Skeletron Prime, the Twins, Plantera, Golem, those are just time consuming. Like, there's very little risk of dying. Because we have so much defense and regen. It's really just spending the time to do it. But I think the Moonlord is going to be like the Brain of Cthulhu and Cultist in the fact that it requires a decent amount of focus to make sure he doesn't heal. So that one's not going to be a brain dead fight. But yeah, most of it's just time consuming. And unlike the other low damage runs I've done, like Copper Short Sword and Flare Gun, I intentionally, for most of it, did not build to just have a really broken tank build, because there was no need to, and it's more fun doing it otherwise. But like with the Lawnmower, I don't really have a choice. I have to just be insanely tanky because I have to be point blank, pretty much not moving in order to deal damage. And like if you're not extremely tanky, you just can't do that. They nerf tanking in 1.4.5 is really impossible. It wouldn't be impossible, it would just be... It would probably take 2 or 3 times as long. If not longer. Because you would be doing the exact same thing, except instead of being able to deal damage consistently, you would have to spend a lot of time dodging and regenning HP. Which would drag things out to take an astronomically longer amount of time. Which, for obvious reasons, is not something we want. You know, now that I think about it, I might have to amend my setup in anticipation of the Ancient Light attack in Phase 2. Because that's not something I can really eat super comfortably, I think. I got that a little close. Okay, almost at 2,000. Okay, 2,000 down. Do I watch or listen to something while doing this? The game. During previous bosses that required less attention spent on them, we would watch or I would read something together, but I can't really do that with the cultist. I can't be looking away from screen. I'd see at 8217. This requires too much focus. Given the amount of focus that this requires, I also might split this out into honestly like 3 days of streams. With shorter streams, because I'm risking a lot. There's a lot at stake here, because it's very easy for me to slip up and mess up with just the slightest delay in my actions. And as a result, doing the normal like 5 or 6 hours that I stream for, as we get past usually like the 3 or 4 hour mark is when I start to play worse than I usually would, due to exhaustion. So once we hit that point, I think it would be a safer play just to pause and continue tomorrow rather than trying to press on in one sitting while I'm tired. We had done a similar thing for the Moonlord the first time around during Copper Shortsword, where I was only really streaming for a couple hours at a time during that, pretty much just because of the level of focus that the game required. I couldn't sit there and do that for hours and hours on end without slipping up more frequently. And it is basically similar stakes. The Cultist is honestly higher stakes than the Moonlord. Like the Moonlord, if you slip up, you lose, you know, at most, like an hour of progress. If I slip up during the Cultist, I'm just dead. Like, if he summons a Phantasm Dragon, I'm just dead. I can't do anything about that. My only hope for killing the dragon would be a falling star hitting it, but like I'm not able to hit the clones to stop him from summoning more, and it would just whittle me down before I'd be able to deal with that. It's quicker to restart the fight than to kill the dragon? Yeah. Honestly, I think I should swap out my Ankh shield for Fin Wings. The reason for that being, it is significantly more consistent. Also, I should have been using the Paladin shield in the first place, but it's significantly more consistent for me to fly up to that spot up there if I have wings, as opposed to using the grappling hook. The hook does work, but I have to make several button presses in rapid succession, and if I mess up or am slightly delayed with some of them, you know, the odds of failing are higher. And the Fin Wings are a more consistent way for me to get up there. The honey I put down when I was building the arena, it doesn't really do anything now, to be honest. I guess when I fly up there, it stops things from spawning down there. But the main thing it was there for is to stop stuff from spawning. It made building the arena much more feasible. Do I not have any knockback resistance? No, I have knockback resistance. I have the hero shield. The Ankh shield should have been the paladin shield. I only had it equipped because there was the cursed axe, and I wanted to avoid getting cursed. And I just forgot to swap it back. Yeah, I'm not really too sure what to do during fights like this. Because there's not really much I can do. I can't really look off screen. So reading is 100% a no-go. Watching videos together is also pretty much a no-go. Like, I'd be catching maybe like 10% of the video at most. Pretty much the only time I'm looking at chat is the brief moment after he summons clones. After I've hit the clone, I'll look away at chat for a moment. Almost 3,000 down though. The other thing is, hearing what's going on is kind of important. It's not, like, completely necessary, but being able to hear the cultist is giving me a lot more feedback for when things are occurring. In a way that purely visual feedback wouldn't do. I feel like best case scenario, I could just play some music. That's really about it. Halcyon Memories requires 10-hour loop. I want to, I'm gonna turn on OBS recording, alongside streaming. That way I have a higher quality version of parts of this fight to use in a video, rather than trying to take it from the stream. Okay. 45,000. Which means we've done 3,000 damage. Unfortunately, even with the cultist's reduced defense in, Phase 2, it's still not low enough for us to deal actual damage to him, unlike doing copper short sword only. This cultist fight is much more reminiscent of the flare gun cultist fight than the copper short sword cultist fight. The flare gun cultist fight sucked. It was really, really bad, and I think I actually did that one on Classic, the only boss that I fought on Classic outside of the Wall of Flesh. Actually, no, I think I'm gonna do it. But, it was a nightmare. Because the one, I didn't have falling stars at first prevented from hitting the arena. And there were a couple times fighting him with the flare gun where falling stars fell and hit the clones in a way that was impossible to avoid. Because, like, they passed his sprite the moment it appeared, and there's nothing you can do about it. A falling star causes a dragon to spawn. And then, you know, because I wasn't tryharding, I didn't have a super tanky build. So a dragon spawning was basically almost a death sentence. I think I did kill a dragon, but it was really close. And then the flare gun's lingering projectiles meant that, like, if you fired things upwards, they would fall back down, and it's possible they could fall back down and hit a clone, depending on how you aimed them. And, you know, over the course of a 7-hour fight or however long it was, there's a lot of opportunities for something like that to happen. I think our damage with the lawnmower is a little bit better than it was with the flare gun. Not by much. But it's a little bit better. Imagine a fight that lasts just 7 hours. We haven't actually had... Have any of our boss fights gone... Oh yeah, some of the boss fights have gone beyond 7 hours so far. Twins, I think, were like 12 hours. Prime was probably like 7 hours. Destroyer was like 6 hours. Plantera didn't take that long though. Neither did Golem. They were both pretty quick. If you ignore the fact that I died to Golem. The turtle. And yeah, I thought about... So, I don't think there's any situation where I do fish wrong. I just don't see that happening. It would be annoying, it would take an obscene amount of time, and I would rather just fight the Moonlord. I could see myself fighting the Empress of Light. But if I did that, I think it would be post-Moonlord. Not with post-Moonlord gear, necessarily. But just because... I would see whether or not I still have the energy to do it post-Moonlord. Because I'd rather prioritize killing the Moonlord than killing the Empress. And if I'm killing them both, I'd rather do the one that's going to take much longer and tire me out than the one that would make me tired for the endurance fight. Oh yeah, definitely not daytime. Daytime, while I think you could potentially make a task that could obscenely slowly manage to kill her, it is not humanly possible to kill daytime Empress with a longbow. That's not happening. That's just... I could see a task daytime Empress being possible. Like, you can get close enough to hit her. It would just be... You would be hitting her for 1 or 2 damage at a time at a particular point during her animation where she's vulnerable, and you wouldn't also kill yourself by walking into her. But it would take, like, hundreds and hundreds of hours. And, like, that's just... I think this is... Is this the only boss fight we've actually used wings in? Oh no, I guess we did use wings during Plantera. In her second phase. My favorite fruit? I like strawberries a lot. Yeah, we did use wings during Plantera, that's right. Yeah, I like strawberries. Hey, 44, 404. What about watermelon? Watermelon Like, I'm not a huge fan of watermelon. Like, watermelon's fine. I don't mind watermelon. But, like, it's messy to eat. It's really wet. Honestly, the watermelon flavor, unless you get a really ripe one, is kind of lacking. Like, I mean, it's watery. Do I bother taking off the leaves? Yes, I don't eat strawberry leaves. I mean, you asked me my favorite. I don't... If you bring up another fruit and the answer is, no, it's not my favorite, it's not a strawberry. Like, yeah, watermelon's fine. Is it my favorite? No. If it was my favorite, I would have said it was my favorite. It's in, like, top 5. I don't have a top 5 list of favorite fruits. I can say my favorite is strawberries. Other than that, I don't know. I don't... How am I supposed to rank them? Strawberry sorbet. I mean, I've had some strawberry sorbets before. Generally, I'm not as big of a fan of strawberry sorbets compared to... I think my favorite sorbet is probably like a raspberry sorbet. I'd rather just eat strawberries outright than have them in a sorbet or frozen dessert. If I have good luck with raspberries, they always taste tart. Fresh raspberries are such a... They go bad so quickly. I never really buy fresh raspberries. Taste, the way you eat it, and how accessible it is in different seasons. I mean... With the consumer economy in the US, you can pretty much get whatever fruit you want at any season. They just might not be as nice of quality. You don't like the tiny hairs and seeds? Fallen Star All Bosses Challenge? No. No. If Star Fury counted, it would just be Star Fury All Bosses. Star Fury's better than relying on falling stars. You realize the health bar disappears a bit before the clone bit, like the one on the bottom? Yeah, he like fully blinks out of existence. He's no longer in the world during it. Can stars spawn during the Moonlord fight? Yeah. Falling stars falling is tied to the passage of time. As long as time is passing, falling stars can fall. However, pausing time, like through journey mode, prevents falling stars from falling. And sleeping, or using a sundial, speeds up the rate that falling stars fall. Okay. I think that this fight's been going on for like around about an hour, right? But we've been streaming for about 2 hours. We had to set up the arena, and then there were the failed fights. So this is not terrible pace that we're making. The important thing is just not messing up though. So I'm probably only going to stream for another hour or two before cutting it off for the day, because fatigue and exhaustion are the real killer. I think you remember someone doing a falling star only run, don't remember who. How far did they get with it? Did they have a mod that changed falling stars? Because I could not imagine doing a falling star only run in vanilla. It would just be obscenely boring and time consuming. Like, when I was doing like copper short sword only, I think I had maybe over the span of like a 30-hour fight, like at most like 5 or 10 falling stars hit the moon lord. Like, it is extremely uncommon for bosses to get hit by falling stars. You would be looking at, honestly, probably hundreds of hours to kill bosses in vanilla, unless you had like a mod that changed falling stars, in which case I could understand it. And like getting the wall of flesh to get hit with falling stars is, you would need him to get hit by like 3 falling stars on classic, and you would need to mine out the entire world and have things fall from the sky all the way down and perfectly hit him 3 times in, even in a large sized world, you're looking at like 20 minutes. I think best case scenario, for how long the wall of flesh would be sticking around. And it's not like you can sleep to speed up time to make falling stars fall faster. I mean, with journey mode, you could get things to fall at 24x speed if you had 24x time, but even still, that's... I tried Terraria Skyblock. I've heard of Terraria Skyblock, but I just don't think it would be very fun or interesting. Like, I know exactly what Terraria Skyblock would entail. Obscene amounts of fishing. Then that's basically it. Obscene amounts of fishing and obscene amounts of farming. And it would just take a really, really long time. And I'm just not very interested in that. It's like fighting a boss with a lawnmower. Yeah, but the difference is one is actually engaging, and the other one is basically AFK. Well, yes, some of the bosses with the lawnmower have been AFK. There have been some bosses that at least have been interesting. I don't see any part of Terraria Skyblock that would be interesting or engaging. It pretty much entirely seems like just being AFK or semi-AFK for like hundreds of hours. 5,000 down. I've played a lot for 100% bestiary completion, which is cool at least. I don't have the interest in 100%ing the bestiary in a regular world, let alone the Skyblock world. I'm not really a completionist. They should the pillar event with falling stones and completely AFK. I could understand that one. Honestly, the hardest part of the pillars, I think, is going to be actually killing the pillars themselves. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. People see partial challenges like that and think that people did the entire game like that. Like, there are still people that think I did the entire game with a paper airplane or a wooden bow. I didn't. I fought the moon lord with a wooden bow and Duke Fish on the paper airplanes on Master Mode, but I didn't do the whole game with them. I did do the whole game with a flare gun, though. Copper short sword. But yeah, especially another thing that's pretty evident as I've been making it clear when I've been talking about it, the reason I'm not going to do another low damage run after this is even if a worse weapon were to be added, or if something like, you know, the broken wooden hammer would, if you didn't use any of the damage over time effects, would potentially take longer than this, or be a little more annoying. They're really all just the fucking same. Like, once you get to weapons that are that bad, you have no choice but to basically build extremely tanky, be virtually unkillable, and then just spend a long amount of time killing things. And it's not interesting doing them differently. They're not meaningfully different. The Lawnmower is probably the most interesting of the low damage weapons. In the sense that it is extremely restrictive with what you can do, and therefore you have to play with it in a unique way. Whereas wooden hammer would just be copper short sword, but bad. But like, there's really no situation in which I could foresee a low damage run being interesting or engaging in any way, or having any level of redeeming qualities. Am I glad people picked Lawnmower? No. But I can safely say, after having done the Lawnmower, there's no situation in which another low damage weapon would be interesting or engaging to the point of making me want to do another run. I didn't really want to do Lawnmower in the first place. I just decided that I would do one more low damage run. And put Lawnmower up there. And like, I'm fine with using the Lawnmower. It's not unbearable or anything. But you know, by this point in the game, it's pretty stale. I'm just going to finish the game. Lawnmower is also looking to be the only low damage run in which I'm going to actually have to kill the pillars properly, which I really am not looking forward to. What I mean by that is, during flare gun only and copper short sword only, I use lava to kill the pillar enemies, which isn't possible in the seed because it's don't take up. So I think we're going to actually kill the pillars, and also, even more so, because the pillars are underground, falling stones are not going to be able to assist us. So we're pretty much raw dogging the pillars, the lawnmower. You know, Stardust and Vortex should be easy enough. Nebula and Solar are not. Probably just be pulling things out one at a time and slowly whittling them down. And then we have to actually kill the pillars proper. They have 20,000 health. And just being able to hit them is not going to be easy. Do I have the best possible armor right now? Honestly, I don't know, because for the purposes of what I'm doing right now, I don't actually know if Valhalla Knight Breastplate would be better than Beetle Chestplate. I am pretty certain that Valhalla Knight Greaves would be better than Beetle Pants, though. So, but those things would require the old one's army, which I'm really not keen on. I think Valhalla Knight Breastplate, with the rate that I'm getting hit right now, would work out to be better than Beetle Shell. Because I'm actually not getting hit that frequently, because of the way the cultist attacks. But, like, getting Valhalla Knight would be a massive ordeal. I would need to farm the tier 1 of the old one's army, just an obscene amount of times. I figured out a title for Lawnmower video yet. We are probably, bare minimum, 100 hours away from finishing Lawnmower only. And I think that's a conservative estimate. Pretty soon, relatively speaking. Not 100 hours of real time, 100 hours of in-game time. Not like 3 days from now, as in... For comparison, we have like 100 hours of playtime on this character right now. But I think just the rest of the cultists, the pillars, and the moon lord would easily double that. It'll be within our lifetimes. Unless you die tomorrow. You don't know. You don't know when you're gonna die. You're very confident for a wanted man. How much damage do I want to deal today? I need to figure out how long I want to fight the cultists for. Today, because we're not killing them. It looks like we do about 6,000 damage an hour. Maybe like a third. The thing is, though, because we started, late, like, we didn't start this fight until, like, an hour into the stream. Going to a third of his HP would actually probably take a fair amount of time. We've only been fighting him for about an hour. You back and putting this on in the background while dying to Ico stickers? Yeah, good luck. I would suggest tunneling inside blocks to avoid their line of sight because they can't shoot through blocks. And if you have a pickaxe, you can mine inside of stone and whatnot and avoid them entirely underground. Which helps a lot. Then floaty gross. Melee weapon. Floaty grows take a ton of knockback. They're really easy to keep at bay, as long as you know they're coming. If you don't know they're coming, then I'd suggest a hunter for it. I wonder if we'll get any more falling stars to hit the cultist. We had one falling star hit the cultist on our first attempt, like immediately. And there's really only one point in time in his entire cycle where a falling star can even hit him. So like the odds of him getting hit by it are exceedingly low. It's right now, that brief moment he goes up there, that is the only point in time where a falling star can hit him. And each falling star essentially shaves off about 10 minutes. It does about 1,000 damage. 1,000 damage is about 10 minutes. I don't think it's very likely that we get many falling stars, but, you know, 1 or 2 could come in handy. Like I said, though, we may have to re-strategize for his second phase, and things may change a little bit in phase 2. Which is a concerning thought, because I'm really not sure how that's going to play out. You know, I may honestly copy this world file to my laptop, where I also have Terraria installed, and then take the cultist to phase 2 there, and see exactly how this performs in his second phase, and figure out a mechanism to make sure we don't die there. Because I don't want to spend several days getting to phase 2 and then get choked there because we weren't ready for how things were going to change. What I plan to do is set up a second teleporter a ways away, and make it so that whenever he does the ancient light attack, we can teleport away from it to avoid it, because it goes through blocks and does quite a lot of damage, and we can't really destroy it. It's really not something you want to sit still and face tank. Honestly, what I might do is set up a second identical chamber, exactly like this one, off to the side, and like shift this to the right, so there's one of these on the left side, one of these on the right side, and if he does the ancient light attack, we can teleport over to the other one, and then we can basically do things the exact same way. I should be able to build that mid-fight without too much difficulty, as long as it's phase 1. I just have to make sure to get back in time to manipulate his position so we can avoid him. I feel like that would be the best bet for making sure that goes fine. You love the idea of me mowing the cultist's face over and over again? Look, it's very painful. It's more painful for him than it is for me. Put it that way. I think I'll shoot for 3,500 today. I think 3,500 will be the goal. That'll be 13,000 damage, which is a little over 2 hours of fighting him today. Since we started fighting him late, I think that'll make it so that we have about 3 days of 3 to 4 hours each fighting him. And then that would lead to him dying. I could go to 3,200, which would be another half hour, and that would be an even 1/3 of his HP, but given the circumstances, like I've said, I really don't want to push on too long when I start to get tired, and I'm already getting tired. Like, I've been doing this for an hour and a half, of just staring at the screen and doing the same motions over and over again to hit the cultist. My reaction time is gradually slowing down a bit, doing it slightly worse as we go on. And I don't want to push on too long, because, like I said, if you weren't here for this earlier, if we mess up after this, do daytime infrared light? No, daytime infrared light is not humanly possible to do in the Lawnmower. It would be exceedingly difficult, although possible, I think, to program a task to do it. You could not do it. It's not humanly possible. But yeah, if we mess up and allow the cultist to summon a Phantasm Dragon, we're fucked. Fight's over. We're dead. We have no means of dealing with it, and it also changes the cultist's position, so we can't hit him during the clone phase and we end up summoning more things. Or is the ending of Heterosity Boyfriend? Did you watch it? Are there even Terraria passes? I don't know, I don't keep up with things. I don't imagine why they wouldn't be. I'm not really engrossed in Terraria speedruns, so I don't know. I guess calling it a task is also kind of silly given the amount of time it would take. Maybe just tool assisted. Couldn't you went to sleep before it ended? I don't know how to describe the ending of that game. Like, it was just a wild ride. I don't really know how to describe it without watching it. Tool assisted activity. Anything other than tool assist, like cast, doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well. I guess tool assisted play would probably be the term I would use, but it just doesn't sound as nice as cast. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even use the word tool assisted anything. I'd probably just say you could build a macro to do it. Something to that effect. Because that's really all the task is just a series of inputs for the game to make. I guess it depends on the game, but usually it's just a series of inputs. That angry Nimbus is still down there. honestly, with how tired I'm feeling now, I might honestly plan to stretch this out into 4 days instead of 3. I really don't like the level of fatigue that I'm at right now. I don't know if I'm going to feel comfortable bringing him down to even 3,500 today. Because I catch myself being slightly delayed with some of these reactions and movements and losing track of things. I don't want to make those risks. I'm not like negotiating with you. I'm just saying that I'm probably going to end the stream earlier than I was planning. There's not really anything that anyone's going to say that's going to change my mind on that. I'm just explaining it. Alright, 41k. 7 touches down. Like that right there was me just losing focus for a second and forgetting what was happening. Like I caught it quickly enough. But a small lapse in concentration like that could very easily lead to disaster. Teleported to the top. I think it's more likely that would mess me up than anything else. Because the other thing is, if I put another teleporter up there, things are going to be able to spawn up there. Wraiths, potentially. Which will then float down. Unless I were to, like, wall it up a bunch, which would then leave the problem of the things above it. And, like... Damn, that so almost got him. want to do at least 38,000, but I think I'll probably call it 38,000. $10K is a good number. Whole moon, I'm gonna miss out on the fishing power bonus. True, I should start fishing up some honeyfin. Although, to be honest, I have absolutely no idea which moon cycle positively and negatively affects fishing power. And you could tell me literally anything and I would believe it. As far as the fishing power moon stuff. Yeah. If I mess up a tiny bit, the fight's pretty much over. Which is why, like I said, I'm really not keen on doing very long stretches of time, like I had been for other bosses. Follow them in the higher fishing power? I don't know. Honey crates? What would be in honey crates? Like, I feel like you'd have to make an entirely new loot table for them, because there's... Can you get biome crates in honey? I was not aware of that. I've never gotten a biome crate in honey, but I also don't fish in honey very much. Biome crate using wood biome. I mean, the wiki's not always correct on those details. In fact, it's wrong on niche information quite a lot, but it gets general and non-specific stuff correct most of the time. Capturing it on video is a good way to prove your point, yeah. Well, the way that crate priority and biome priority works would make me think that biome crates are not possible, because... honey has a higher biome priority. And biome priority is exclusive. Almost a quarter of the way done. Yeah, and we started late today, so... we're not really almost a quarter of the way done. A bit off from that, but... we're almost a fifth of the way down. Don't dig up occasionally overloading or finding fishing in? Maybe. That could be possible. Okay. 8,000 down. I just don't care whether or not it gives a buff or a negative penalty to fishing power, because it wouldn't affect whether or not I fished. Like, I'm not going to look at the moon cycle and go, oh, there's negative moon power, I'm not going to fish. Or there's a full moon, I'm going to fish. Because I'd fish either way. So in my mind, it's a pretty meaningless change. It's just a small fluctuation. As notches. I mean, you can do math pretty easily to figure out how far along in the boss fight you are. Like 25% down would be when we get down to 36,000. Notches is easier, I guess, but I mean, since they added the numbers down there, it's really not too difficult to tell. Just get like the Dark Souls boss style notches where they're divided up into like 13 segments, so you still can't like easily do math to determine, or you can't easily at a glance determine how close it is, because they're not in, not segmented in an intuitive way. Yeah, was health bar 1.3 or 1.4? I honestly don't remember. Sounds right. Like I said, I'm gonna go to 38,000 today, which will probably be another about 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna cut there because I can feel the exhaustion setting in. So I hit him now. You accidentally teleported into the golem boss room because you were too late to find the entrance? How did you accidentally teleport in there? So, a lot of Discord? Oh, like your post-plant terror. I see. How do you do that on accident? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, a lot of Discord's easy way in and out. Pre-Plantera. Hello. Not pre-Golem. Once you're past Plantera, you can use the Water Discord to teleport into the temple. You can't do it before Plantera, though. Happens if you try? Nothing happens, I think. Maybe it damages you, but I think just nothing happens. It's like trying to teleport into a solid block, which I think just nothing happens, right? It's the only option if you're trying to beat the game with worst gear, so you've not allowed yourself to open the Plantera bag yet. I don't even think the temple key drops from the Plantera bag. Doesn't it just drop alongside the bag? I didn't think it was in the bag. I did remember that team in WWE. That was fun. I don't remember having a bunch of temple keys lying around in multiplayer. Maybe I'm wrong though. I don't really pay that much attention, but... you can also hoik in though, really easily. I do think there's a little bit of irony in saying you're trying to beat the game with generally worse gear, but you have a lot of Discord. Yeah, makes sense. There's one boss behind us who's pressure. Okay, 1,000 more for the day. It's really convenient that the cultist never uses the bottom left. I'm still not entirely sure what's happening differently here, why he's sometimes going up to the top there and sometimes going to the bottom right. I think there might be a subtle difference in my positioning, or something. I'm not really too sure. game as a ranger with no bullet or arrow firing weapons is fun. Yeah. You get to use the, or one of your good options, depending if you allow rocket launchers or not. If you don't allow rocket launchers, pretty much your best option for late game is the piranha gun, from what I remember. And you get to use a really fun quirk about the way the piranha gun works, which is that the piranha gun is one of the only weapons in the game which Shroomites' stealth bonus is incredibly powerful on. And the reason for that is the piranha gun calculates damage based on the damage that it had when you fired it. Which means if you activate Shroomites' stealth bonus and then shoot the piranha gun, it will maintain the stealth damage boost even after you start moving around and lose stealth. So as long as you use it correctly, you basically get a free 60% damage bonus with the piranha gun. Yeah, it's really good against Bitron. It does not work on the Empress of Light, however, because for whatever reason, the Empress of Light causes the piranha gun to lose lock-on whenever she teleports, which is relatively frequently. Whenever she repositions herself, teleports above you. The piranha gun normally is able to track teleporting enemies fine, but specifically the Empress of Light, for whatever reason, causes it to lose lock-on. Yeah, somebody mentioned the fire attacks from the cultist disappearing on blocks. What I think is equally as amusing is the fact that he doesn't even try to attack with the lightning attack if he doesn't have a line of sight. Like right here, it just sits there and does nothing. There have been some falling stars close to hitting him, but none of them have actually hit him this time around. Dev should update their bosses to account for attacks going through blocks by now. What do you mean? Like, just make it so that all of their attacks go through blocks? I don't... Blocks. I imagine it's intentional. Like, I assume there's a reason that they code certain blocks going through blocks, certain attacks going through blocks, and certain ones not. Even if it's just like to make strategies like this viable. Maybe the devs like things like this being possible. Maybe they don't want every attack to just invariably go through blocks. Because they've had years and years to change it. If they haven't, I assume there's either something intrinsic about the attacks, because Terraria does have spaghetti code, and they might just be afraid to try to change them. It might be some property of the attack, and they don't want to break anything by trying to change it. It works now, so why fuck around and potentially ruin it? That'll play for bosses as late as cultists. I mean, when it's been problematic, they've changed it. Probably the most notable example is they changed the Moonlord's death rate to go through blocks, but they didn't change the rest of his attacks to go through blocks, I believe. And if they were gonna do that, and they want to do that for all bosses, like, there's probably a reason that they don't do it for every boss, because they could have. And I would suspect it's either because they like it being possible to do things like this, the being able to block attacks, or they just are concerned about breaking the code by trying to fix things that don't need to be fixed. That would be my guess. Bosses like Fishron and the Empress do have all their attacks going through blocks. Might be the on-block explosion effect. What are your thoughts on the solar eruption? Brother feels that it gets overshadowed by the labor of love Terrorblade buffs. The Terrorblade is not better than the solar eruption. Thank you, Expo Games. Not after the Terrorblade got nerfed. Like, the main thing you use the solar eruption for is crowd control. It's not a single target weapon. If you wanted single target damage, you'd use the Daybreak. You use the solar eruption like for pillars, and the solar eruption is way better than the Terrorblade at doing pillars. The solar eruption goes through blocks, it has infinite piercing, the Terrorblade only pierces like 4 times, and it does pretty steep damage fall off when it does pierce. It has the damage over time effect, like, it's way better at clearing out crowds. And if you have an optimized melee speed build, Terrorblade might do better single target damage, but if you're doing single target damage, you'd want the Daybreak. You wouldn't be using the solar eruption. You know, the ideal thing to do with the solar pillar weapons is probably to do solar eruption and then shimmer it into the Daybreak for fighting the Moonlord. The Terrorblade isn't even the best killer melee weapon. Like, I would much rather have the Flying Dragon than the Terrorblade. Yeah, you can shimmer pillar weapons. You can't shimmer the pillar fragments, but you can shimmer the things you make from the fragments. Because if you could shimmer the fragments, they would turn into one of every other fragment, and you could get infinite fragments that way. But you can decraft it. No, you don't shimmer it into the other weapon, you unmake it, and then you just recraft it. Okay, we're at 38,000. I'm gonna let him do one more clone cycle and hit him there, and then I'm gonna pause and end the day. And we'll pick this back up tomorrow. Because I can feel fatigue setting in, and I do not want to continue going when I am tired. Okay. Yeah, that was probably a little under 2 hours of this fight. About 3 hours total. We're at the point, it's gonna be like this for the Cultist and the Moonlord. Can you shimmer the Zenith? Yeah, you could unmake it. It's going to be like this for the Cultist and the Moonlord, where both of those bosses are going to require me paying a lot of attention and focusing a lot. And as a result, I'm probably not going to be doing long play sessions like I had been previously, because I'm going to gradually get more and more tired, and messing up carries disastrous consequences. With the Cultist, if we mess up, we just lose. Like, that's it. The fight's just over. And with the Moonlord, if we mess up, he heals and we lose progress. So in both cases, I'm probably going to be spreading it out over a longer period of time and doing shorter individual sessions. Yeah, bye everyone.